Okay, guys, so welcome to Empowered League's team call for March 15th. I just have a couple things that I want to say before I introduce Miss Jessica, who has so kindly offered to be our guest speaker tonight. First and foremost, the Success Club prize this month. I posted in the team page today, but just as a reminder, if you earn Success Club this month, you're going to get a sampler pack of the performance line, which is absolutely incredible. If you've never used it, I would highly suggest that you try it because the more products that you're familiar with, the better that you can help the people that you serve. Because different people have different needs, and some people might want to have a pre-workout or a post-workout recovery shake, especially people if they're doing like cross-training for something. This is a great product line for them if they're training for marathons, if they're CrossFitters. It's just an absolutely awesome line. So if you haven't tried it, I would definitely suggest that you do. I mean, you don't have to go buy the whole thing at once, but try one thing at a time. I personally love drinking the recharge at night because it helps a lot with muscle soreness, and considering I've had a lot of injury, it's super helpful for me. So if you earn Success Club this month, you will be getting a sampler pack of the performance line, and for Canadian coaches, they're giving 10 samples of Energize. So just so you guys are aware of that. The next thing that I just quickly wanted to cover, because I think I knew this, but I just posted it in the team page too. Most of you guys know the Success Starters program is if you hit Success Club in your first 3 months as a coach, that you earn a free ticket to Coach Summit, which is an absolutely incredible event that you should not miss, and every single coach on this team should be there. But they now also made it that if you earn team leader status on the leadership ladder within your first year as a coach, that's a second opportunity to win a Success Starters ticket, in case you missed it from the Success Starters program. And so basically, if you haven't gotten yourself familiar with the leadership ladder, that's definitely an absolute must, because they didn't have that around when I was a new coach, but it's an incredible way to gauge your business growth, not just by Success Club points and rank, but really overall in terms of your income growth, in terms of developing coaches underneath you, and then growing your weak leg volume. So team leader basically means that you earn at least $1,000 a month in commissions. It means that you are consistently hitting Success Club 5 or above. You are the rank of Diamond or above. You have at least 4 personally sponsored coaches hitting at least 1 Success Club point or more a month, and that your weak leg volume is 5,000 or more. Sorry about Declan. But I just wanted to quickly cover that. And if you guys don't know where to find your leadership ladder, I know you guys see me recognize leadership ladder at the beginning of every month. I really want to push more towards focusing on that rather than just Success Club and just rank, because it's, like I said, a way better gauge of business growth. So if you haven't checked that out yet and you don't know where you are on it, or you don't know what you need to advance to the next rung on the leadership ladder, I would encourage you to go in there and check that out. And you can find it in your Coach Online office. If you go on the top bar, it says news and training. And then you're going to click on training, and on the left side at the very bottom it says leadership ladder, and it will give you what the benchmarks are and what the requirements are for those, and it updates every single month. So keep that in mind to know where you're at and what you need to advance on that rung. And that's about it. So Miss Jessica, yes, I actually recently spoke to her team and I asked if she would return the favor. She is currently a Diamond coach and ranked number 230 in the company, which is absolutely incredible. She is on track and pushing with her team to be a 2000 elite team this year. She has surpassed her teaching income with coaching, and she is 2 months away from being a Success Club All-Star, which means that you have consecutively hit Success Club for 12 months in a row. So absolutely Just incredible overall growth and consistency with the business. So she's hopping on here tonight to talk to you guys about how she quit yo-yoing with coaching and really went all in, and her top tips about that. And then if we have some time, she can get into talking more about the importance of really building relationships and hanging out in your inbox, like I preach all the time. So thank you, Jessica, and take it away.
All right, guys. Well, Dana, first, thank you so much for having me. Whenever I first reached out to Dana, I just had to let her know, you know, how much I adored her and how much I loved how she ran her social media. I think one of the biggest compliments that you can have as a coach is whenever you go to their page and you just know what type of person they are. When I go to Dana's page, like I see her heart, I know her story, I knew about her hip injury, I knew about her son Declan, and I knew about her Beachbody business. And it's just, honestly, I've admired Dana since the word go. And she's one of those annoyingly consistent coaches that don't yo-yo. So it's like, she's truly someone to look up to, guys. And you know, just the fact that you guys have such a fearless leader, take note of that and definitely be proud that, you know, Dana is your leader. So, but with that being said, you know, how did I get out of the mindset of yo-yoing so much? And but in order for me to tell you guys that, I feel like I need to give you a little bit of my background story and, you know, who I basically am and how I got into coaching, right? So first of all, I'm currently a stay-at-home mom. I have 3 kids. They're 5, 3, and 1. So my hands are full 24/7. I absolutely, from a very young age, I always knew that I wanted to be a mommy. So I went and I got my degree in something called CDFS. And what that is, it's Child Development and Family Studies. Because I always wanted to grow up. I wanted to be around children. Something about their heart, their innocence is something that always just spoke to me. So I went after that. But during my college career, I worked in the bar setting. You know, I was a bartender, I was a waitress, but on top of that, I was also the manager. So I got paid a management wage, but on top of that, I also got the tips from bartending and serving. And I'm not sure, raise your hand if you guys have ever been in the service industry. It's hard as hell to get out of. That quick money, like I said, I worked in WVU, so it was, you know, that traction was there. Those people were there. I had my regulars, like the money that I would make, it was just so hard to get away from. So here, you know, I finally graduated with like my degree that I always wanted. But, you know, going around searching for job after job after job, and they told me what I was going to get paid. I was like, you crazy. I am going to stick with my bartending gig. I'm going to get paid what I deserve to get paid, to sum it up. It was so hard for me to get rid of that. So, but guess what, guys? I got married. Life happened. I got pregnant. Okay, can no longer really, you could, I guess, but in the bar industry, they didn't have that, you know, the smoking law was not in place yet. There was still smoking involved. It's not something that I wanted to be around while I was pregnant. It's not something that I personally felt comfortable doing. Being pregnant, behind the bar, serving drinks, to me, it just really didn't go hand in hand. And it's when I finally felt like I need to put on my big girl pants. I was like, all right, Jess, even though you're a manager in this company, it's something that you love, like you're pregnant now, you're married, it's really time to put on your big girl pants, is what I kept on telling myself. So as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I went ahead and I quit the bar industry for good, which was a really hard pill for me to swallow. So I started jumping around from job to job. And like I said, children were always my passion. So the first job I went with, it was a job called Choosy Kids. And it was all about ending childhood obesity. And I'll get to this later, why I'm so passionate about that. I also, that job ended up, it wasn't something that I wanted to continue with. When you're in the corporate world, you just have those people that can be downright rude and ignorant. And for me in that job, the reason why I ended up leaving that one was there was just this one girl that was just extremely mean to me. I felt like, I don't know, she just had basically control issues. And I don't know, just the corporate world can just be so ignorant sometimes. So I was just like, you know what? It's like I ended up crying myself to sleep. I couldn't do that job any longer. I just felt like the people were being mean to me, even though I was like truly giving them my heart. So I quit that job. And then I ended up being an event coordinator at a Catholic school. I loved it. The hours were a little bit crazy. And, from being the event coordinator in the Catholic school, it actually got me to where I was able to teach preschool. So I was super excited, right? I landed my dream job. I'm now going to have this career to where it's going to work around my child's schedule. I was like, gorgeous. Things couldn't be better for you. So so here we go. I'm pregnant. I went ahead and, I had my daughter, obviously. After the summer season was over, I went back to work. Me and my husband, we had the perfect schedule. He worked afternoons, and I'm not sure if anybody knows what an afternoon shift means, but it means that they basically go out at noon, and then they don't really get back until about 2 o'clock in the morning. That was basically my husband's full day. But I went ahead and I woke up at like 6 o'clock every morning. I was at work, and it actually left it to where my daughter only needed a babysitter for about a half hour a day. So if you're looking at it in like the grand scheme of things, like we really did. We had the perfect schedule. My husband and I, we were able to raise our daughter. But then it left me and my husband like up in the air. It was just like, okay, I never saw you. I felt like he was a roommate. and then I can't lie, guys. Like I said, I got my degree in child development for a reason. My children were my heart. They were my soul. They were my passion. So here I am now. I have my own child. So even though my husband was raising her, and I'm sorry if I get emotional, I'm such like an emotional creature that I just cry like at the drop of a dime, because it's something that I'm truly passionate about. So anyways, we had the perfect get up, but then I can't lie. I was that crazy mom. Like I was psycho. I had my monitor on my phone. And as soon as I got to school, my heart wasn't in the children that deserved it, my students. Instead, like my phone was like at my hand, like checking my monitor. And if Jayla got up, I'd be like, oh my goodness, is my husband too tired? Is he too tired? Is he going to get up with her? I was so obsessive about it to the point to where it's like, as soon as I got home, I was with my daughter, I was happy, but then I would beat myself up and I was like, oh my goodness, I did not give my students my all. I did not give them my heart. I didn't give them my attention. I didn't give them everything that they truly deserved out of me. So it truly, truly, truly was like a vicious cycle that just constantly like pulled on my heart. So, we all know with teachers, they go ahead and they have the summer seasons off. Well, guess what? Summer season hit again for me. I finished out my full entire school year, and I find out that I'm pregnant with my second kid. So, you guys can imagine now the type of pull that was on my heart. I was like, holy fudge. My husband's name's Toby. I'm like, Toby, what am I going to do? Like, I can hardly leave one kid. Now I'm going to have to leave two. And on top of that, I'm such a people pleaser at heart. I am such a people pleaser. So not only that, I was thinking, well, if I did quit, what is, my assistant going to think, and the other preschool teacher's going to think, and now what type of position am I putting this principal in? Like, oh my goodness, like I'm going to quit on him. And it's just like, it was all of these emotions. I was staying up at night. I just didn't want to let anybody down. But at the end of the day, like I never once like thought of me and like how I was affecting my children. So like I said, like it was just this constant, like I knew my heart was at home with my kids, but for some reason, like I was like, oh my goodness, like I cannot tell, the principal, my boss, that like I'm ready to quit because here I am pregnant with my second child, even though like this is my dream job. In so many words, it didn't pay shit to sum it up. Teachers, for what they do, God bless them. They put their heart and their soul into what they do, and they're raising our generation. But yet, guys, we get paid penny on the dollar. So my husband kind of had to bring me back down to earth, and he was like, Jess, at the time, like our babysitter that we knew that only had my daughter for 30 minutes out of the day, he was like, she's leaving. That means that we are going to have to put our children in daycare. That means that your full entire paycheck every single month will go strictly towards daycare. It's not an option. You're not going back to work. And thank God he said that to me, because if not, I was just like, oh, okay, so now I don't have an option. I don't have an option. I have to quit. So it's kind of like this huge light, even though like I couldn't even talk to my principal, letting him know that I had to quit. I say principal because that's what he was, but my boss. This huge light just kind of shined down on me, because I was like, oh my goodness, like I always, like growing up, I always just wanted to be a mommy. The teaching thing I can just revisit later, and all will be fine whenever my kids go back to school, right? So so that's what we did. So anyways, I am just basically busy at heart. Like I've been working since I've been 14. I always knew at a very young age that if I wanted something, I had to make it happen. So I knew at the age of 14, I wanted my permit by 15. That means that I wanted a car. I wanted freedom. I wanted to hang out with my friends and my family. And I knew that I had to get myself there. So like I said, 14, I started working. So whenever I quit this job, and now I was staying at home all the time with 2 kids, like something about me, and raise your hand if you're a mom or a stay-at-home mom or whatnot, something like in my heart, I was missing a huge piece of me. Like here I am, I feel like I finally got everything that I wanted, but there was this huge piece that I could just no longer like wrap my hands around. Like there was just this piece of me that was just missing. I felt lost. I felt depressed, and I felt like I wasn't contributing to like my family. Even though like I was raising my kids, I was putting dinner on the table every single night. We had a clean house. Damn it, I was busy. I was a mom. But just something was missing. It just didn't like all make sense to me. And that's when coaching comes into play. My coach reached out to me because she knew that I've always been a huge at-home workout person. Like I said, I worked crazy hours. Even while in college, I always had 18 plus hours. But on top of that, I worked full time. So I worked about 5, 6 nights out of the week. But I'm also someone that like I really always played into a feeling. On how I felt about myself. And, I knew that I had to work on me. So at-home workout programs, even over a decade ago, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm saying that. I feel so old. I always knew that I had to do something. I had to take care of myself. So, I'm not sure have you guys ever heard of Slim and Six? Okay, well, it's like one of the first Beachbody programs that they ever came out with. Slim and Six, me and Debbie Sievers, we were best friends. So I did that while I was so busy with work. So anyways, Natalie reached out to me. I went ahead and I bought the P90X3 with Shakeology off of her. It was the first time that I ever tried Shakeology. I loved it. But like I said before, like I've done tons of at-home workout programs when I got P90X3, and it was all about like weights and Tony Horton. It just wasn't my jam. Returned it. I was that girl that returned the challenge pack. I was ignorant to the fact that I didn't really know what it meant in my defense. So anyways, I returned that without, honestly, my coach, Natalie, even knowing. And then one night there was an infomercial that came on the TV, and it was all about the 21-day fix. and it was talking about portion control and learning how much of what to eat. And then on top of that, they had these 30-minute workouts. And my mind instantly went to my mom, okay? And this is where I'm sorry if I get a little bit emotional. I'm going to try my hardest not to like shed tears and for you guys to see my ugly cry. So give me a minute. So I was thinking, my mom has always been like morbidly obese, right? She got into a really bad car wreck when I was about, I hated that I do this. When I was about 2 years old, she was in a wheelchair for about 6 months. And from there, like, she basically broke every single bone in her body. You know, she was raising 4 kids. I have a twin on top of 2 older sisters. So here she is, like, trying to raise us in a wheelchair. My dad working all the time. And, you know, on comes this weight. I mean, she was probably every bit, oh God. I mean, she was overweight. I don't even want to put a number on it. So whenever I saw the infomercial, I'm like, oh my goodness, like I can teach my mom all about portion control. It's something I felt like I had under control, but I was kind of oblivious to the fact of, you know, how much of what to eat. So I was like, I'll steal the workout DVDs and I'll teach her all about the portion control. So she came to my house. We broke out, you know, the booklet. And from there, we did her calculation. And I just remember her getting so emotional. And we downloaded the app and she was like, Jess, my weight won't go into the app because she weighed that much. And my heart just like sunk. And I was trying to hold on so strong. And I don't know how I didn't cry in front of her. But I was like, Mom, it's all right. We're going to fix this. So we did. I was like, here's your grocery list. We figured out how much of each portion control container she needed to have of each day. All right. So she followed it. I checked in on her day after day. Within her first month, she lost 24 pounds. By her 4th month, she lost 94 pounds. Okay. So that right there alone, like I was already a believer in Beachbody. Like I said, I've done the at-home workout programs. I lived by them. I love them. But now my mom, I was like, holy shit. But there was just, sorry if there's kids on the call. I'm sorry if I curse. So that's where it's like, I now saw my mom have this new opportunity out of life. I saw that she, you know, she was now able to do more things. She was able to experience more things. She was now the mom that I knew that she, I don't want to say that she always could be because, you know, amazing, but she was always in the hiding. She would be the mom that, like, she would grab your arm and, like, pull you in front of her because she didn't want to be seen in a picture, and she was just trying to hold or trying to hide her body that much more. And she hated pictures. I don't have hardly any pictures of us growing up. So it's like she was that mom that just, you know, she just, her quality of life was poor. And that's how I always viewed it. She did not have a good quality of life because her weight held her back. She was insecure. She was not confident. And because she wasn't confident, she didn't go out and do much. And instead of like people seeing her heart, she was so exhausted. She was worn out. And because of that, she barked orders. And that's what people saw. When really she's this person that has like the heart of gold that would do anything for anybody. So you can now imagine like where my heart is at. I'm like, oh my goodness, coaching is it for me. I found this thing that I'm passionate about. I'm going to go ahead and do this. So my first month actually coaching, guys, like I came out of the gate swinging. Like I was that girl that I had no clue how to use social media. I was like, yeah, did insanity tonight. What's up? Like I was that girl that like I did not know how to use social media. I used it kind of like Twitter and just told people like how I felt, but it was like no picture was involved, and it was just like, yeah, so my girl peed in the potty today. It wasn't like nothing that like brought you in, I guess is what I should say. So anyways, like the first month that I committed to being a coach, I think I hit like Success Club 22. I was the inbox girl. I was the person that invited people to my challenge group, and that's what I did, right? But, you know, so I would go a few months strong. I would hit Success Club. That was for me because I was a believer, right? When you're a believer in what you have to offer, your voice is true to that confidence, and that confidence comes through. So whenever I talk to people behind the scenes, I don't hesitate to let them know how I feel about Chickology and how I feel about, you know, the at-home workout programs, because I've seen it over and over again, the success stories that can come from it. And honestly, I'm proof of the product. I'm obsessed with what we have to offer. So, but anyways, like even though like I've had like my mom's amazing transformation story, and I had like even my own belief system and, you know, what we have to offer, I guess the business side of it was kind of shaky for me. Like I really just never got, you know, the true potential behind it. So when life got hectic, I would stop for a month or two. And then when I felt like, you know, I was good to go, I would start back up. And I say that, you know, because I had 2 kids at the time. I had a husband that worked. It was always me. My husband worked afternoon shifts. So it was like go, 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 go with the kids. And then on top of that, I also decided to run my in-home and at-home daycare. So I was just kind of all over the place. So let me see. I wrote down notes in case I decided to get off topic here. But yeah, but one thing I always took pride in is that, you know, if I had a challenger, I always stayed in tune with them. I always had a group, an ongoing challenge group that I ran with my challengers, so that I never, like, whenever I say I quit the business, I meant I quit the business, I quit hitting Success Club. That's what quitting this business means to me. I was still, you know, plugged into my challengers. I was still doing I was not hitting Success Club. So, you know, I'd get up, I'd go back at it again, I'd hit Success Club, and then, you know, life happened again. My husband got a new job. So we basically uprooted our very first home as a family. So we moved, you know, I quit coaching once again. I swear my coach, Natalie, I swear she was probably ass. But so anyways, our very first move that we had as a family of 2, you know, it was basically a very hard, trying time on me. But during that time, I had 2 kids, and then we found out that we had our 3rd on the way. Okay. So, and now you throw a move on top of that. So I was about 7 months pregnant. We did 2 moves in 2 months, right? So I yo-yoed again with the business. I stopped it completely. But this time I just didn't stop on the business. I stopped on my challengers. I stopped on myself. I was completely stressed. I didn't know what to do with myself. And there's a little bit of a backstory behind that. You know, whenever we first moved out of our home that we first got it as a family, we moved into a temporary home that my husband's aunt let us move into, until we found a home that we weren't just going to basically settle on. Well, basically 2 months after that, we found our dream home. You know, we were all ready to go. We went ahead and we moved in, even though everything with the house wasn't settled on. We were told by the bank that we basically had to go ahead and put siding up on our home so that it would be marketable. On top of it, the carpet needed replaced. So we started putting thousands and thousands of dollars into this house, even though technically we didn't own it, which I guess at the end of it was kind of stupid on our behalf, but we were already getting ready to close with the bank, but we had to do it so that we could buy it. But during that process, we were moved into this new home. All was well again. And then we were told that it was getting ready to be repossessed because the people foreclosed on it and we didn't know about it. So the bank no longer owns it, and now a different company basically owns the house that we just put all of this money into. So you can imagine me, now I'm 7 months pregnant, getting ready to introduce a new child into the world. I think at the time I had a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and one on the way. So like I was stressed. And I just started thinking to myself, like my life started to consume me. I was seeing the light in someone else's life when I couldn't be it in my own. I was consumed with calls with the lawyers. I was scrubbing baseboards because the previous owner didn't take care of this house. I just wanted it to be clean and sanitary for our new baby and our children that were, here. I was eating out all the time. Burger King and original chicken sandwiches were my jam. I gained a lot of weight with my 3rd pregnancy. Guys, I quit doing me. I straight up quit doing me. I quit doing my personal development, and I truly started to become depressed. So 1 month after we had our 3rd baby, when we welcomed him into the world, you kind of get this new sense of, I don't know, it's kind of like a big old slap in the face. Like you worry about these things when really it's so minor. What really matters at the end of the day is that you have your family and your health and all is well. But, I have to say we finally ended up getting the house. We didn't have to move again, which was amazing. But, after all of that was said and done and the stress was over, I woke up and I was still unfulfilled. And for the moms that are on the call, or soon to be moms, I'm sure that you can kind of resonate with me whenever I say this. You kind of feel this sense of like you're ashamed because you feel like you have these children, they're the light of your life, but yet a piece of you is just missing. So that's when Beachbody comes back into play, if you guys were wondering. So Beachbody comes back into play, and I'm just like, you know what, guys? Like, I'm just, I feel like I'm missing something. And, there's my coach popping up on social media, like being that annoyingly consistent coach that's just so happy and smiley and doing her workouts. And then my mind always went to, well, she doesn't have 3 kids. Like she has no idea what type of life I'm living. She can do all that stuff and she can work her business because she's not a mom of 3. And I always played that into my mind when I was like, oh my goodness, like you're playing the comparison game. So anyways, before I go any more into that, I really wanted to let you guys know like the lessons that I learned from all of that. So the biggest thing is that I let the series of events define me and get the best of me. I didn't control my life and I let my life control me. That all of the situations that I let you guys in on, the 2 moves and, 3 months and being 7 months pregnant and everything that I went through, I did not truly stay engaged with the one thing that always gave me light. Yes, my children always gave me light. Yes, they do fill up my heart with so much pride. But I always knew that I had it more in me than to just be a stay-at-home mom. And if somebody is just a stay-at-home mom, like, please don't take offense to that. It's just how I personally felt. I felt like I could always contribute more. And that was always my mentality behind it. I knew, like I said before, I've been working since I've been 14. If I ever wanted anything out of life, I had to make it happen. Even though here's my husband, he has an amazing job. He works crazy hours, and he's an amazing provider. But it still left me feeling very empty. So That's the first mistake that I made, is I truly didn't control my life. My life controlled me. Even though, like, I am the number one person that I feel like I always say, like, I'm a firm believer. Everything in life happens for a reason, you know? But yet I would always stress over the uncontrollable. Like, I could not control what happened to my house. The outcome ended up being okay. But yet I just threw, like, everything up that I completely believed in out the window because I was stressed. Instead of just dialing myself in and being like, Jess, get a hold of yourself. What's going to happen is going to happen. At the end of the day, what matters is that you have your family, not necessarily this home. So anyways, my biggest takeaways. I warned you guys ahead of time, right? So my biggest takeaway is, you know, your mindset in all of this. If you treat this business like a business, it will reward you like one. And that's something that I didn't do at all with what, you know, I didn't think of that like a business, I guess you could say. I just thought of this more of like a, you know, I'll do this when it seems fit for me. But if you come into this like you have the $1 million business, because guys, you do. There's people in this business that makes $1 million. I'll let you know that much. But like the biggest problem with that is, you know, our investment in this business is an investment in ourselves. So there's not that much skin in the game, right? You bought this challenge pack, you know, it was probably for $140. And from there, it's like, you're like, okay, like there's not that true connection with it. So I will say that. Treat the business like a business, it will treat you like one. My number 2 takeaway is develop your why. I heard this over and over and over again from Liz Harkey. Natalie preached it. They talked all about that vision board, develop your why. Guys, I was that coach that I would like literally, like I would show up to almost all of the calls. I'd get off the call and then, you know, I went about my family life and I never developed it. I'm like, oh my goodness, yeah, like I'm contributing to my family. That's what I summed it up to be. But I started thinking to myself whenever I came back, I'm like, I'm going to stop giving up on myself. So I really need to develop this why. So I started asking myself, what happens if I don't show up? Right? So, and guys, my mind always goes to, and, you know, I hate to think the worst, but I feel like it's just being a responsible adult, is I always think to myself, like, what happens if, you know, something ever does happen to my husband? I have 3 kids. That's ownership. That's ownership of my life and my children's life. And that's something that eats away at me. And I also want them to, you know, view their mom like, you know, she does more. Like, she's just not the stay-at-home mom. Like, she does more with her life. She makes money. And guess what, guys? We get to do it all while we're at our house. And then I think beyond that, and I think of my husband. You know, he still puts in crazy ass hours. He's still, you know, he left at, I think, 6:00 this morning, and his butt just got home, I think maybe 2 minutes ago. I heard him walk in the door. Where's his quality of life? I can't lie. That pulls at my heart too. And a part of me feels guilty for that. He feels like he has to work these crazy hours to provide for our family when I can also do that providing. So develop that why, ladies. Develop that why. Don't be me and don't be like, okay, I heard develop it, but you don't do it. And then on top of that, I also, you know, I really started thinking, you know, the type of lifestyle that I had growing up. And I have to admit, my dad was the dad that worked in a mill. He worked all day, every day. I had 3 older sisters and my mom, so I grew up around all women, and my dad was never around. And, you know, here he still is to this day, you know, still working his ass off. So it's just more to like give back to him, to let his body actually rest, and to show him that bigger things are possible. So yeah, guys, develop that why. If you haven't written it down yet, write it in your notebook right now. Develop that why. My number 3 takeaway was make short-term and long-term goals for yourself. will say your first goal should always be your Success Club goal. Whether that's 5, 10, or higher, it needs to be on your list, because if you're not hitting Success Club, you do not have a business. And I learned that the hard way, time and time and time again. So don't do that. So yeah, said that. And always know that you're running your own race and stop comparing. One of the things that truly got me down, and you know, something that also played in my mindset, you know, during all of that yo-yoing with my business, was I was looking at, you know, other coaches and what they were doing. And I was thinking to myself, like my coach, Natalie, she always comes up with these amazing posts. But to me, she's kind of like a journalist, and she would form her words perfectly. And it was always like the perfect post. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I could never sound like that. And then she would post like 3-4 times a day. And I'm like, oh my God, how shit and piss all over me. Like, I have nothing to talk about. Like, how am I going to do that? So, you know, I learned to truly stop worrying about what other coaches were doing. And I started to worry about what I was doing in my business, because that's the beauty of all of this. This is your business. You run it how you see fit. All right, guys. Number 6 was personal development for me. When times got rough, for some reason, whenever you need it the most, you seem to quit on it the most, you know? So really, just when times get tough, really diving into that personal development. For me, Tony Robbins and Les Brown, they're my dudes. They're my jam. I crank them up on YouTube and I'll do my workout. But some of the top takeaways that, you know, I really learned from Les Brown and Tony Robbins is, you know, if you want to know what to do, you learn from the best of the best. So for me, I knew that Melanie Mitro was our top coach of the company. I wanted to know what she was doing to see success month after month after month. And guys, I can't lie. I saw that every single morning she was annoyingly consistent. She was posting her workout day after day after day after day, and she wasn't missing a beat. And I started thinking to myself, I work out, you know, 5-6 days out of the week. I can do that. I can post my workout 5-6 days out of the week. So, and like I said, there's no need to rewrite, you know, the Beachbody vehicle. You know, the tools are always given to you. So if you really start to not be successful in this company, or if you start to blame, you know, this, that, and the other person, that you just can't hit Success Club, you don't know how to do conversations, you don't know how to reach out to people. What you really need to just start saying to yourself is that it's truly just a lack of resourcefulness. Because I'm telling you, I know that Dana probably gave you guys a bunch of documents on how to go about handling your business with your customers, or how to handle, you know, basically your business as a whole. So really, it's just a matter of taking ownership for your own business. So that was that one. And stop overcomplicating. Overcomplicate to the max. I would hear that these coaches were getting a sauna, and they were like now starting these elaborate, you know, tracking systems. And I felt like I had to keep up with the Joneses, right? So instead of doing, you know, what was most important to me, being a busy mom, you know, really playing into the inbox, what I should have been doing, but instead, I tried to research and do what these other coaches were doing because I needed to be like them. No, that's so far from the truth. If you have a system that works for you, use it, and don't be afraid to use it. I think that it's great that you know, other coaches, they let us in on their nuggets and how they go about things. I feel like that's great if you haven't found your jam yet and you're struggling. But if you have found your jam and you know how to work your business and you know how to track your customers, then keep on doing it, and then don't worry about the rest. So let me see what else I have here. Oh, and one thing that I really started measuring my success was in this business is, you know, if posting my workouts every single day on social media, and, you know, really doing the inbox behind the screen. And if I continue to have You know, if people felt like my Beachbody door was open and I continued to have challenger after challenger every single month, then I knew that I was having a successful business. When people stop coming in my Beachbody door, that's when I know I need to reevaluate my business, and I need to do a gut check, and I need to reevaluate what I'm doing. So if what you're doing is working, you're hitting Success Club, you're bringing on new coaches, guys, you're good. You're good to go. My tip number 8 is stop with the I can't saying I don't believe in myself. That's something that I personally started doing. Instead of saying like, oh my goodness, I can't write these long posts, I can't do what these other coaches are doing, I just started saying, you know what, I don't believe in myself enough to be a top coach of this company. So it's, once again, that pulled on my heart, and I'm like, forget that, I do believe in myself, I am going to make this work. Another one is to believe in yourself and the power of your voice and what you have to offer. Like I said, you guys know me already. You know that I was a firm believer in the programs already. And then my mom, losing the 94 pounds in 4 months, I started thinking like, I'm keeping someone else's destiny trapped inside my mouth. And how ignorant is that of me to do something like that? Something else that helped me is, whenever somebody would give me an amazing compliment, if it would be my challengers or one of my coaches, I print that sucker out and I hang it up. So whenever I start to beat myself up and I feel like I'm not doing enough, or I could be a better coach, or I could be, just better overall, I go and I read what they say to me. And I can't lie, like I have them up on my board. I'm not sure if you guys see my whiteboard over here, but I print them out. So whenever I start to beat myself up, I read their words, and it's just a new, fresh kind of like, oh my goodness, I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing. I'm inspiring other people. I'm changing lives, not only through challengers, but also now in the coaching aspect. So that too. All right. This is kind of one that I feel like I really need to say, and I hope this doesn't offend anybody. When you feel lost, reach out to your coach, okay? Don't fall off the wagon and, fall completely off the face of this earth. Your coach wants to be there for you. I'm sure that she's already invested a lot of time and effort into you. Don't be ignorant like me. Do not be ignorant like me. I literally, I just quit Facebook. I quit like my Messenger, and I just literally fell off. And, now coming back to it, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I can't believe that Natalie still talks to me. She invested all of this time. She invested all of this energy. She invested her heart into me. And now I was the ignorant one, and I just fell off the face of this earth, and I didn't even give her 2 cents. I didn't say, hey, I'm having a hard time. Hey, I'm lost. Hey, I'm depressed. I didn't say any of that to her. And she's probably just over there like, oh my God, where did Jess go? Where did Jess go? So know that your coach always cares about you. They want you to succeed, and they're always there for you and your goals. It's not saying that you need to you can always realign your goals with basically where your life is at, but you need to let your coach in. You got to let them know where you're at. And I wish that's truly something that I would have done. So what else do I have here? Another thing too that I learned is that whenever you use your social media and you post those workouts every single day, guys, I'm telling you, your life becomes so much easier in the inbox. And that is because you create that credibility for yourself. If you're going behind the scenes inviting people to your challenge group, they need to know what the heck a challenge group even is. Your online support health and fitness group, however you guys like to word it. Whenever I just started sharing my workouts every single day, it was that much easier because they were like, oh my goodness, you work at home? Yeah, I want to do that too. And then if you don't think that people creep on you after you send them that message, they do. I did it. I'm sure you guys have done it with your coach. If she's ever sent you that message like, hey, you want to join my challenge group after she formed with you a little bit, you were probably like, who is this chick and what does she do? And I'm sure you probably saw Dana's rocking 6-pack abs and you were probably thinking, how in the hell can I get them too? So just saying, create that credibility for yourself. You know, like I said before, I was always the inbox girl, but I really had to work touching people's hearts and helping change their lives versus if I would just personally be showing them what I was doing day in and day out. Now, this is basically my last takeaway with the business, and it's like I said, I am a stay-at-home mom to 3 kids. My husband works all of the time. I know that everybody runs their business differently, but if you're a mom of 3 small kids like me, this is just something that stuck out to me that I hope can maybe, you know, resonate with you guys a little bit, is you don't have to do it all of the time. Wait, you do have to do it all, but you don't have to do it all of the time. So whenever I say that, I know that, you know, some of you guys are already a busy mom and we really start to work in our pockets throughout the day. I spend a lot, the majority of my time at the inbox. It's always in the inbox. I would prefer to have one less post on social media, and I would prefer to make a meaningful connection behind the screens. That's just me. It seems to work in my favor. Yeah. So you do have to do it all, but you don't have to do it all of the time. So, I mean, you know how we say, do the 4 vital behaviors. Yes, you need to be proof that the products work. Yes, you need to be inviting to your challenge groups every single day. But, you know, whenever I am hitting my goal and I need to hit Success Club, you best believe my number one focus is in the inbox, inviting people to my challenge group. Then I revisit the rest later. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that that makes sense to you guys. Then I'll kind of go crazy the next day and I'll add more to my inbox. So it's just a matter of really finding your jam and, you know, working this business the way that you see fit. And, you know, whenever you quit having people come into your Beachbody door, that's when you need to reevaluate what you're doing. And, you know that you always hold the power to your life. You know, that's something else that I always tell not only my challengers whenever I'm talking to them about their fitness journey, but also my coaches. You know, you always own the power to your life, and it's always a mindset game. It's always about that mindset and how you view your life and how you want to go about it, but the power comes up here first. So that's something that I always preach. And, you know, if I could just go back to the old Jess now, I would just tell her to quit giving up on herself. And guys, I'm here to say now that I haven't. You know, I've been consistent now in this business now for over a year. And I know that Dana already said that I surpassed my teaching income, which is amazing. And that just happened from being consistent and not giving up. So I hope that if there's one word, I know Dana's really big on words and, you know, having the word of the day, it's consistency. Damn it, the word consistency, write it all over your board, write it all over your notebook. Consistency. Consistency is what will always run the health and fitness journey. We need to show up for ourselves at least 3 to 5 days out of the week to get results with our fitness. It's the same thing with our business. We can't expect to give up on it, you know, 1 month, come back to it the following, and then have that vicious cycle. You need to be consistent with it, you know? So Dana, that's what I have. Oh crap, I took up a lot of time. I did have a slide about how I go about the inbox, but you know, if you guys had any questions about that, I guess we should go there first.
We can have you come back to that if you want. I love what you just nailed in, and it made me think of Patrick Reelman, how he always talks about, like, basically on the way to, like, build your business, it's like going up a down escalator, and, like, you know, you kind of get here, and then if you stop, you come back down to the bottom, and you have to keep going up again, whereas if you just stayed consistent, like, you would get to the top. I absolutely love everything you shared. And I was just going to ask you, in case people were taking notes, would you just quickly run through like the list of your tips?
Yeah. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, so my number 1 tip was treat this business like a business, and it will reward you like one. 2 is develop your why. 3 is make short and long-term goals for yourself. 1 goal should always be Success Club 5 or 10. 5, run your own race. 6 is personal development. 7 is stop with the I can'ts and start saying, I don't believe in myself. So stop with the I can'ts and start saying, I don't believe in myself. I think I numbered them wrong. 8, believe in yourself and the power of your voice. 9 was reach out to your coach when you feel lost. That's a huge one, guys. Huge one. Oh crap, I have a few of them here still. 10, you will always hold the power to your life. Oh, and I did have the social media too, so that's 11. Use social media. Life will become easier in the inbox.
And so I have a couple too that I wrote down that you didn't mention, but that I think, I mean, you covered them in, but I think they're top points too, is the be resourceful and take ownership of that, of what you're given.
Yeah, that's under personal development.
Yeah. And the credibility, the credibility piece is huge. Because trust is so important to connecting with people and to also, you know, having them trust you to start a journey in this business, for sure.
Yes, for sure. It definitely became my life a lot easier to hit Success Club whenever I started being consistent on social media.
Yes. I think it's really easy to overlook how hugely that impacts basically everything. Like you struggle so much when you're not consistent, period.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Does anybody have questions for Jess about anything she covered, or comments or things that stuck out to you?
Yeah, guys, I love it when people give me feedback, so hit me up.
Thanks a lot. This is Sari. I liked a lot of what you had to say. I mean, a lot of it we hear, but like sometimes just coming from someone else and a different perspective. I mean, I work full time and I have a 3-year-old and I'm a single mom. So it's funny because I saw Dana and you were saying with the abs and I was like, oh shit, if she could do this, there's no reason why I can't do it. So that was, you know, that was how I saw it. And it's the same thing. Like, I know with the consistency, and I think, not that I will ever go dark on Dana, but I think if like, you know, we all get it in our head. And I think that sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, what am I doing? But I know, like, you just put one foot in front of the other, like, you're going to be successful. And I think it's that easy, but we overthink it.
Yeah. Amen. And guys, I got to say, each time that I quit, like I was this close to seeing true success. I was this close to like having my other coaches being on board. But, you know, because I quit that 1 month, my challenger that I reached out to previously went with another coach, and now she's a bomb ass coach. That is a gut check. And that's like, damn, she should have been with me. But then I also take those as valuable lessons. Then I'm like, you know what? Just if you give up on yourself, you can't expect other people to follow you. You can't. You have to believe in yourself enough in your journey to be consistent in it, in your vision. And if you don't have that vision, you will not continue to show up for you day after day after day. And you have to.
Jessica, I just wanted to say thank you as well. I thought this call was really amazing. And while you were talking, I also printed this out, which is to be consistent, to put on my little board down here. And then I also, as you mentioned, you have everything that the nice comments that you've received printed beside you on your whiteboard. And I just received a really nice one today from someone who's not a challenger, but who said that she's been following me, realized if I could do it with 3 kids, that she could do it. And she's sort of been on her own wellness journey. And I just added her like 4 months ago. And she had sent me a comment. So I just printed that up as well. So thank you.
Yay, I'm so glad, guys. I'm telling you, like, I got to show you guys my whiteboard. Like, that's my whiteboard behind me. But like what I take most pride in is what people say to me, and that feedback. And I gotta say, like, it keeps me going. It keeps me going, and it keeps me showing up. Anybody else?
Jess, I have to tell you, because you probably love this idea, but I decided back at the end of last year that I'm going to create a wall of wins once I get my office space together, but it's going to be just a wall just for that, but for transformations and messages. And Carl Deichler has mentioned a million times too, if you don't do a wall to create a book for yourself, like an album basically, that you put that kind of stuff in, because it is really powerful to read the words when you need them.
You do. And guys, I got to say, like I said, I never gave up on my challengers, but those transformations that I made, not only with my mom, now she's down, I believe, over like 145 pounds to date. But then even my 80 pounds, like I helped another challenger lose 80 pounds, and like this new quality of life that you're able to offer someone. And it truly is, it's kind of crazy how Beachbody works, because it's the full package. And I can't say this enough. Like, I don't know of another job out there that's going to teach you to work on yourself first. And because you work on yourself, you now believe in yourself. And because you now believe in yourself, you can now put that belief into the rest of the world. And the power behind that, holy guys, that's amazing. I can imagine like now the type of life would live if we didn't be now that challenger that lost type of life living if she didn't have lost 80 pounds. Guess what? Now she is a stay-at-home coach with 1 kid in 1 way. It's amazing on what this opportunity can do. And it's just really always letting that body be open, being consistent with, and just going to self and opportunity. And whenever you feel lost and you feel down, know that so guys, if it's hard, know that you're doing something right.
Love it. So inspired. This lit a fire for me too. I always, like Sari said, we hear this stuff over and over, but it's always nice to hear it from someone else and their perspective and in their life, and just to truly see how much this transformed for you when you decided to go all in. Because I think that that's something that we so easily overlook, and like you said, make things a lot more complicated than we have to be. And it's just that this business is, what we have to do is simple, but it's not easy. And the not easy part is the being consistent enough with it to actually see true change in all aspects to what we're potentially capable of, I think. So I love this so much. Does anybody have any last questions for Jess while we have her here? And Jess, if you want, I'd love to have you come back and actually do your chat on your inbox, because I'm sure that they would love that too.
Oh, I love it. I have slides and documents all about the inbox. So yeah, like, I am the inbox girl. I'm a firm believer in it.
Oh,
and I believe that, your business is ran off of that box. So I would love to.
And I love that you pointed out too that I'd say that as well, that what you put on social media has a direct impact on the return that you get in your inbox. And what you said the other day about like people you form with, I had a girl that I reached out to yesterday, totally random, like commented on her wedding dress. Declan's ready for bed. And she wrote me today and was like, oh my God, like, how did you get so fit? I don't know how you stay motivated as a mom. And now we're talking about challenge groups. So it's absolutely 150% true that what you put on social media is so key in creating those new connections, because people definitely do come and see like, who is this girl and what are they up to? And you have to be consistent, obviously on your journey, but sharing it too. Huge
Right. It doesn't
takeaway.
mean you have to be perfect, but
Yeah.
amen. I mean, people creep, guys. People are creeping on you when you send them that inbox, and you just got to make sure you create that credibility for yourself.
Give them something to creep about, right?
Amen. Hey, they're talking. You're doing something right.
Yeah.
Good, bad, it don't matter.
Yeah. All right. Well, does anybody have any other last questions?
Oh, I just saw some of these messages. I didn't get to read them yet, but
Nope. Yes, National Wake Up Call. Facebook is your storefront. Yep.
oh, you're welcome. I was so glad to be real. I'm sorry, guys. It's just me being emotional. I wish I could control it more, but I just can't.
You shouldn't. That's human.
Yep.
And it's beautiful. All emotions are beautiful, right?
Amen. It just means that you're real, guys. If there's one thing that I learned, it just means that you're real.
Yes.
Oh, I love the messages. You're so welcome.
Well, thank you so much, Jessica. Absolutely just love your story. Love your takeaways. So inspired. I hope everybody else is feeling the same. And thank you so much again. We will definitely have you back on again soon. I will send everybody the recording if you need to tag your coaches in it, and have a good night. We will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.